All right, so Demon Slayer, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, it's everywhere, right?
everywhere you look.
You can't escape it. But is it really all that, or is it just one giant marketing machine? You know what I mean? Our listeners send in a ton of stuff, articles, analyses, even some pieces about Japanese culture surrounding the show.
Wow.
So I think we've got enough to really dig deep and see what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Separate the demon slayers from the marketing demons, right?
Haha, exactly. Well, one thing that's impossible to ignore is just how massively popular this thing is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, the numbers are staggering. We're talking manga sales going through the roof after the anime came out, and then the movie Mugen Train just shattering box office records.
Yeah, even with a pandemic happening.
Yeah.
And the merchandise. Oh, my God, the merchandise.
Right. It's like they slapped a Demon Slayer logo on everything.
I swear you could probably fill an entire Shinkansen train with Demon Slayer merch at this point.
Uh-huh, probably. But seriously, let's talk about those numbers for a second, those manga sales.
Millions upon millions of copies.
Exactly. To put it into perspective, Mugen Train became Japan's 5th highest grossing film in just 24 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it even beat out Harry Potter domestically, which is insane. So what does that tell us about how powerful adaptations are in today's media landscape?
I mean, it's like the anime was like a gateway drug to the manga, and then the movie just blew the doors wide open. But let's not forget about the story itself, right? It all starts with our protagonist, Tanjiro Kamado.
Right.
Now, I don't know about you, but when I first heard the name Kamado, which means stove in Japanese, it's like, really? Stove Boy is our hero.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a bit of an unusual name.
It's not exactly the most intimidating name for a demon slayer, you know?
That's true, but I think that's part of the appeal. I mean, they could have gone with the typical brooding, edgy hero, but instead we got Tanjiro, this kind-hearted, slightly naive stove boy who gets thrown into this crazy world of demons and sword fights.
Yeah, he's the ultimate underdog.
Exactly, and yet he's the one who ends up saving the day, which is a story we've seen before, of course.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it works, and why is that? Because it taps into this universal desire to see the ordinary person become extraordinary. It's the classic hero's journey, but with a stove twist.
Uh-huh. I love that, a stove twist.
Speaking of twists, let's talk about the demons themselves.
Oh, yeah, they're interesting, for sure.
Visually, they're like straight out of Japanese folklore, but then you have this whole sunlight sensitivity thing, the ability to turn humans into demons.
Right, it's like they borrowed a bit from vampire and zombie lore, too.
Exactly. It's a blend of different monster tropes, but what I find really unique is the power structure among them. Only Muzan Kibitsuji, the demon king, can create new demons. It's this very top-down system of evil.
Interesting. So it raises some questions about free will, right?
Exactly. Do these demons actually have a choice, or are they just following orders? Are they truly evil or just victims of circumstance?
And then there's Muzan himself, this sickly nobleman who becomes a demon because he couldn't wait for his treatment to work. Talk about a lack of patience. Seriously, if he just chilled out, maybe read a book or something, he might have actually been cured.
There's a real tragic irony there. Muzan's fear and impatience lead him to become the very thing he feared, a monster. It's a reminder that our choices have consequences, sometimes unintended and devastating ones.
Yeah, that's a good point. And speaking of power structures, both the demon slayers and the demons seem obsessed with rankings and hierarchies.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got the demon slayer core with their 10 ranks, and then the elite Hashira, or pillars.
Each with their own unique breathing techniques and fighting styles.
Right, it's like a demon-slaying martial arts tournament.
It's incredibly demanding to become a Hashira. You need exceptional skill, dedication, and a proven track record of slaying demons.
It's not just about looking cool with a sword.
Exactly. And on the demon side, you have the 12 Kazuki Muzan's elite squad.
Oh yeah, the ones with their ranks literally etched onto their eyeballs. Talk about wearing your status on your sleeve, or rather your eyeball.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a bit creepy, but it definitely makes them stand out. The 12 Kazukis are the pinnacle of demonic power, each with their own unique abilities and a serious threat to the demon slayers.
It's a good thing the demon slayers have the Ubuyashiki family leading them. Talk about a family with baggage.
Oh yeah, they're a fascinating bunch. They're actually descended from Muzan's human family.
Wow, so they're connected to the Demon King himself.
Exactly, and because of that, they're cursed with shortened lifespans, and for centuries they've been marrying into families of priests, these so-called god families.
God families. Why would they do that?
It seems like they believe that by mixing their bloodline with a spiritual lineage, they can somehow counter Muzan's demonic influence. It's almost like a supernatural family feud.
Wow, that's wild. And then you have the current leader, Kagaya Ubuyashiki with his mind control ability.
Right, he's a bit of an enigma. We don't know much about him, but his leadership seems crucial to the Demon Slayer's success. Although it does raise some questions about the ethics of power and manipulation.
Yeah, that's definitely something to think about. But you know, one thing that really struck me about Demon Slayer is that it tries to humanize the demons.
Yeah, that's something that sets it apart from a lot of other shonen anime.
They're not just mindless killing machines. They have backstories, motivations, sometimes even tragic pasts.
The deathbed confessions are particularly effective at evoking empathy for them. They reveal their vulnerabilities, their regrets, their humanity. It really blurs the lines between good and evil.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, are they truly evil or are they victims of circumstance? If they had been given a different choice, would they have chosen a different path?
It's a question that lingers long after you finish the story.
Right. It makes you think about the nature of good and evil, the consequences of our choices,
Yeah.
and the possibility of redemption.
Exactly. Demon Slayer doesn't offer easy answers, but it does make us question our assumptions and grapple with some complex moral issues.
Yeah, it really does make you think. Okay, so we've talked about the characters, the lore, the whole good versus evil thing.
Mm.
But let's be real for a second. One of the things that makes Demon Slayer so visually stunning is the action.
Oh yeah, the fight scenes are incredible.
They're insane. It's like a ballet of blades and demon blood.
It's not just mindless slashing and dashing either. The breath styles, those special breathing techniques the Demon Slayers use,
Right.
they add a whole other layer of complexity and strategy to the combat.
It's like demon slaying yoga.
Yeah.
They're literally breathing their way to victory.
Aha, exactly. And each Hashira has their own unique style.
Like Giyu with his water breathing and Shinobu with her insect breathing.
Right. And those breath styles aren't just for show either. They're deeply rooted in Japanese culture and philosophy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have connections to traditional martial arts and meditation practices. It's like they took these ancient concepts and weaponized them against demons.
That's so cool. It adds this whole other layer of authenticity to the world building. But let's talk about the characters for a second. Besides Tanjiro, who's a bit of a goody two-shoes, we said you've got this whole cast of quirky, eccentric personalities.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like Zenitsu the scaredy cat who turns into a lightning-fast swordsman when he's asleep.
Oh my god, Zenitsu is hilarious.
And then there's Inosuke, the boar-headed berserker who's all brawn and no brains.
I mean, come on, a boarhead. Seriously. It's like the creator just threw a dart at a board of random animal parts and was like, yep, that's our character.
Right. But somehow it works. They're both hilarious and surprisingly endearing.
Yeah, they really grow on you.
The humor in Demon Slayer is one of its strengths, I think. It's this quirky, almost absurdist humor that pops up in the middle of all the intense action and drama.
Yeah, it's a nice break from all the demon slaying.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
keeps things from getting too heavy or melodramatic.
And speaking of melodrama, let's talk about the emotional core of Demon Slayer. Because underneath all the flashy sword fights and demon guts, there's this surprisingly poignant story about family loss and holding on to hope in the face of tragedy.
Oh, absolutely. Tanjiro's dedication to his demon sister Nezuko is really the heart of the story.
Yeah, he refuses to give up on her even when everyone else tells him she's a lost cause.
It's a testament to the power of love and the belief that redemption is possible, even for those who have strayed from the path.
It's like he's saying, hey, family is family, even if one of you happens to be a demon.
Exactly. And that resonates with people, especially in a culture like Japan, where family ties are so important.
For sure. Demon Slayer taps into those universal themes of family, loyalty, and sacrifice.
It reminds us that even in the darkest of times, there's always something worth fighting for, something worth believing in.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about the characters, the themes, the humor, the action. But let's be honest, the ending of a story can make or break it. And the ending of Demon Slayer, well, let's just say it sparked a bit of debate among fans.
Yeah. Some people loved it, others not so much.
So no spoilers. But what are some of the key points of contention here? What has people riled up?
Well, some fans felt that the final battle with Muzan was too short and didn't really showcase the full extent of his power. Others had issues with the fates of certain characters feeling like their arcs were left unresolved. And then there's the whole reincarnation aspect.
Reincarnation. Now you've got me intrigued. Without giving anything away, how does that tie into the ending?
Let's just say it raises some questions about whether the cycle of violence has truly been broken or if it's just destined to repeat itself in a new form.
That's interesting. It definitely adds another layer of complexity to the ending.
Yeah, and it leaves the audience with a lot to ponder.
So it's one of those endings that sticks with you long after you've finished watching or reading.
Exactly. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. A thought-provoking ending can spark discussions, encourage different interpretations, and ultimately enhance the overall impact of the story, I think.
I think that's a great point. Okay, I think we need to take a breather here and pick up our deep dive in part 3. There's still so much more to uncover.
There is. In part 3, we'll delve even deeper into the cultural and historical context of Demon Slayer. We'll explore how the Taisho era setting and elements of Japanese folklore and philosophy really enriched the storytelling.
Okay, so we're back and ready to wrap up our Demon Slayer deep dive.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've covered a lot of ground, the characters, the demons, the epic battles, and even that thought-provoking ending. But there's one layer we haven't fully peeled back yet, the cultural and historical context.
Yeah, and that's really key to understanding why Demon Slayer resonates so deeply, especially in Japan.
It's not just some random fantasy world. It's a world that's steeped in Japanese history and tradition.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're talking about the Taisho era, a time of rapid modernization and Western influence, but also a time of social and political upheaval.
Yeah, it's like Japan was going through an identity crisis caught between its traditional past and its rapidly changing present.
Exactly. And you see that reflected in the story in the clash between the demon slayers who represent the old ways and the demons who embody chaos and the disruption of the established order.
Right, it's like the demons are a metaphor for all the anxieties of modernization, the fear of losing traditional values, the uncertainty of the future, the clash between East and West.
Exactly. And then you have the demon slayers upholding the values of Bushido, the code of the samurai, honor, loyalty, courage, self-sacrifice.
So it's like a romanticized view of the past, a longing for a simpler time when things were more clear-cut good versus evil.
Right, but even the Bushido code gets a bit muddled in Demon Slayer. Tanjiro shows compassion toward the demons. He understands their pain, even forgives them in some cases.
It's like he's saying, hey, maybe there's more to this than just blindly slaying everything that looks different.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what makes Demon Slayer so interesting. It doesn't just blindly glorify the past or present a simplistic view of good versus evil. It grapples with these complex moral questions, acknowledges the nuances and gray areas.
And then there's the whole concept of breath styles, as we talked about before.
Right.
It's not just about swinging a sword, it's
Uh-huh.
about cultivating inner strength and discipline.
The focus on breathing, on controlling one's inner energy, aligns with concepts found in Zen Buddhism and traditional martial arts. It's about finding balance, mastering one's emotions, achieving a state of heightened awareness.
So it's like they've taken these ancient philosophies and turned them into demon-slaying superpowers.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why Demon Slayer resonates so strongly with audiences. It's a story that honors the past while also embracing the present, blending tradition and modernity in a way that feels both familiar and fresh.
So after this deep dive into Demon Slayer, what's the takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they rewatch the anime or reread the manga?
I think Demon Slayer is a reminder that even in a world that's constantly changing, even in a world threatened by chaos and darkness, there's always hope. There's always the potential for good to triumph, for compassion to prevail, and for individuals to make a difference, even if they seem ordinary at first glance.
Wow, that's beautifully put. It's a reminder that we all have a little bit of Demon Slayer in us, that inner strength, that resilience, that determination to fight for what we believe in and protect those we care about. And maybe we can all learn a thing or two from Tanjiro about facing our own demons with compassion and courage. So that wraps up our Demon Slayer deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the hidden depths of the stories that captivate us.